here specifically to kill humans.
And food. Food first,
And
humans second.
But
I think I got to turn that on.
are you a hunter?
Yes, I am actually.
Okay, all right.
And we'll go over that here in a second. Where in the? Here we go. I have astigmatism. That's why I use prisms instead of red dots. When I look down the barrel and look into this red dot, all I'm seeing is a star pattern. That's why I don't use them. This is my wife's rifle.
Okay.
This is a 10.5 inch with a brace. Now to stop. See through it?
Oh.
Yeah. So this is a set it and forget it. If I was to set this, now that's set for 25 yards for her, I believe. 25 yards will get you, 25 will get you 100. 50 yards will get you 200. So all of your controls are here. Right now, if it's in that mode, it's safe. If it's down, it's in fire mode. All right. So that's how that works. A lot of people have what you call magnifiers behind it, and they normally do a 50-yard zero because 50 yards will get you 200. Sometimes if you know how to arc your rifle just right behind the red dot, you can reach out to about 250, 260 yards, and anything after that, you're pushing it. Because what you need to understand is the dot, the further you go out, the larger the dot is going to be on your target. So the rule of thumb that anybody training you with a red dot optic is going to be this. If you put the dot on target and the dot is too big around the target and you're not sure of the shot, don't take the shot.
Okay.
Period. My wife can literally stack rounds on top of one another like a 4-leaf clover. I trained her well, dude. Trained her a little bit too damn well, because now, like, I'm not one of the guys that can go purchase a gun without my wife knowing. Well, if I just purchase it, I can throw it in the safe and she'll never know. No, my wife will be, where'd this gun come from? What gun, baby? This gun right here. Oh, shit. So I train my wife as a partner. When it's been a situation where one of my sons left the door open when we were living on Tobacco Fields Drive. He left the door open. Now we rolled out. We went to the range, as a matter of fact. We came back, the door was open. I told my wife, I said, "Tsk." That's what I did.
I wait for you to let it go from here on out. Is it customary?
Yeah.
So when he clears it, lets it go, and then I take it.
Then you take it.
Okay. Yep.
Now, I also want to teach y'all something right quick before you do anything. All right. These charging handles were meant to be dropped, just like a bow and arrow. Boom.
Okay.
All right. Boom. They're meant for you to let it go. That's how the round gets stripped. If you go to charge it and then you want to follow it home, that shit might not be seated properly. Look at where your charging handle stopped at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's out of battery. Now it's in battery. You see what I'm saying? So when you bow and arrow analogy. Alright?
Quit pussyfooting though. Alright. Now I will say that this one and this one, they both look like they've been modified.
And what?
I guess with the
Where it screws on?
Standard, that's a standard nut.
Okay.
Standard castle nut.
but is it made to be modified?
Yeah, I mean, all of these are like adult Legos.
Okay, alright.
So like legitimately I could take that off and put an actual buttstock on and rock with it. And then tighten the castle nut down to torque it down to the correct foot poundage and let it rip.
Okay.
Did you get a chance to fire in
He didn't pull the trigger.
ROTC?
I know he didn't pull the trigger.
Did you get a chance to fire in ROTC?
No, but I remember we've held M16s.
Well, I had a chance to fire, so they put me out on the range. And so they go through the whole thing about the firing cycle, you breathe in, squeeze your trigger. And,
Squeeze trigger on your exhale.
On the exhale, right. So I'm out there, line up the sights, breathe in, target comes up, get ready, target goes down. I didn't hit a single thing. By the time I finished my breathing, too slow.
That's because you didn't know what the fuck you was doing.
I've been through the same training. Some of it is I was always a pacifist.
I guarantee you, once I get you to the range, at the bottom, what they should have told you was at the bottom of your breath.
They trained me well.
When you inhale, and I want you to slowly exhale. At the bottom of your breath,
squeeze with the pad.
That's when you squeeze the trigger. As you're breathing at the bottom of your breath out, that's when you squeeze the trigger.
They did a good job. We did a field training exercise with dummy rounds. I've told you this story.
Semtex?
Yeah, and one of the girls was out there, and they're like, all right, laser suppressor fire, and she's out there going bang 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 instead of pulling the trigger. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing?
Lit her ass up. Ooh, I lit her ass up.
We get back, and the rest of us had to clean weapons.
Yeah, of course.
Hers was done. She oiled hers up and handed it back in. She's like, I've been here before. I'm not messing with y'all.
That's foul.
But brilliant.
That is brilliant. That's fucking genius. While all y'all dummies sitting there cleaning your shit.
But because we out there with rounds and guys, it's like, and as much shooting as we can do.
The difference is Semtex rounds.
Don't even turn this off.
There's simunitions. You don't have to.
Okay.
It'll go to sleep, and then I'll turn it off before I put it in the safe because of where it is in the safe. I don't need it to wake up. You know what I'm saying? But
now are they battery powered? Oh no.
See, that's another thing I was gonna get into. That's another reason why I use prism optics. If my battery goes out, I still got a reticle. If the battery goes out on a red dot, you've got nothing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like legitimately nothing. You've got to utilize the understanding of your barrel and trajectory and how to use your finger to help with your trajectory. So if you're point shooting now because you have no optics, so you're point shooting. You can't even judge distances at that point. So essentially if I'm holding the weapon and just like my finger will ride on the side, if I'm because I'm wrapped around the pistol grip or I'm C-clamping the which I'll show you what a C-clamp is around the actual 300 black. If you're C-clamping, you're using your thumb to actually point. So it's like tat tat, tat tat. You're point shooting because you have no optic to shoot with. But you know that your rifle is already zeroed out, or your firearm is already zeroed at either 25 or 50. So you know what it's going to do because you've trained with it so often. You know what I'm saying? Any questions about that section? Because the next section we go into is going to be all sorts of fun, especially when I get y'all out on when I get y'all out on the range to shoot either one of these sons of bitches, y'all gonna be happy.
Which ones? The top.
These two at the what is that, 4th tier? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the 4th tier. Shotgun, so you got a 410 shotgun, and you got, of course, the regular 12 gauge shotgun. My optic is shot on this one, so I ain't gonna bother. That's again why I brought out the shell. So there's your 12 gauge, there's your 410, and you can assess the difference. That's your 12 gauge round, and that's your 410 round. Totally different. Everyone has a wad in it. It has your gunpowder and your primer, and then it has your actual projectiles in front of the wad. So the first thing that comes out is your pellets. Second thing behind it is your wad.
All right.
So, ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what I am gonna do is I don't want y'all to freak out. I'm gonna let y'all feel what the difference is with it without a magazine in it. And this is a full magazine. I'm gonna put a full magazine in it. It's still gonna be on safe. And I'm gonna let y'all feel what the weight difference is with it in.
Okay.
Alright?
And it won't be chambered.
No, it will not be chambered.
So it'll just be a weight difference.
Correct.
Okay.
Now,
And
again,
so even with the education, a little more comfortable.
correct. Again, what's red?
You did.
White, you all right.
Okay.
This is what you consider a bullpup shotgun. So this is an 18-inch barrel, but it's in a bullpup configuration, so the barrel seats all the way back in here. All right.
Now, what's the benefit of a shorter barrel?
I can clear my house with a shorter barrel. I can clear getting out of a car with a shorter barrel.
Okay.
Sawed-off shotgun, hand on the pump.
There you go. Only difference is this one, I know got 5 rounds of pure unadulterated fuck you very much coming at you. This also can take the, damn, now I can't think of it. Dragon's Breath rounds. Dragon's Breath rounds has shaved sulfur in the front. So every trigger pull, it looks like a fire-breathing dragon coming at you. And it will set your clothes on fire. So whatever you shoot, if it's a person that you're shooting at, which I would pray to God, no one, now the Dragon's Breath rounds are very expensive. You talking about buying rounds that are like in the realm of like 338 Lapua, big cartridge rounds. You know what I'm saying, for rifles, big bore cartridges. They're in that category. So I would pray that nobody would ever use that, because you're intentionally making someone suffer, because you might not even get a strike on an individual that is lethal, but to actually burn them unrecognizable, that's
Would they have any other
that's
purpose?
hard. No, they have those rounds are designed specifically to give a middle finger to you after you are shot with them.
Oh, so
period. There is no
they're
other.
still lethal.
They are.
I guess all
They are.
shots can be lethal.
They are the worst kind of lethal round. You know what I'm saying? Period. They are the worst kind of lethal round. But they fun as fuck when you shooting at just regular paper targets. Okay. I ain't gonna lie, because I am gonna buy some, and I am gonna shoot them outside at my man's range and have a ball. And the beautiful part is when it's at nighttime.
Right.
Because at night it will light the night up. Because you will see nothing but dragons, bright, like fire.
There's a difference between shooting fireworks even and shooting fireworks at somebody.
Correct.
It's
Absolutely.
the same thing with the person.
Well, look at what would happen if you fucked around with the wrong, like an M80.
Right.
Yo, that's devastating, bro. This right here just adds insult to injury. Because if you fire, I'm like I said, if you fire Dragon's Breath at somebody else, you are setting them on fire whilst being shot. And if it's not a lethal shot, you know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. For fun, I can understand, but for actual practical use, I would pray to God nobody's using that.
But you would never push for legislation to prevent the use on other humans.
No, not at all. I mean, because again, there's the slippery slope. We've already seen what happened with the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, where they tried to remove even archery out of schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's not what the bill was for. And we used to have a situation where in schools you got taught about gun safety, and now they because of legislation that pulled it out of schools. Now what you got is individuals using Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty as their basic principles of firearms. Are you kidding me?
What would we do like in Franklin County, where both archery and weapons are taught?
They were trying to pull that shit out of schools.
Who?
The left was trying to, the Democrats had gathered together and was trying to craft a bill to pull any firearms training and I don't even know how archery got swept up into it. I mean, I guess it's a projectile shooting at someone. So they wanted to take all that shit out of schools. And thankfully, I don't even think it didn't get up to the Supreme Court because thankfully there were some Democrats that were not on board with it. And they weren't able to pass it. And that shit, I was just like, really, man? So it's like at every turn, you want to take knowledge away from the people so that you can continue with your rhetoric of fear mongering. It's really disgusting. It really is.
Gosh, seeing it on both sides.
Well, as a Democrat, I don't feel like we're doing that.
But they are doing that. They are doing that. They're trying to throw every bit of legislation at trying to undermine the ability to partake in your Second Amendment right. That's what they're trying to do. Because they have this utopian ideology that man cannot make. Man doesn't have the ability to do that. Sorry.
Well, I think somebody's selling you that idea so you buy more guns.
Who do? No, I don't. So here's what I do. Let me tell you what I do. All right. I don't have family that passes firearms down to me. Mm-hmm. And I don't have sentimental connections to firearms. That's just not who I am. I know what they are. I know what they do. I know what I want to have. I'm looking now, all of my rifle and my shotgun and my rifle, take care of it. My PDWs, taken care of. My long range boy, actually I'm about to get rid of that and just get a 300 blackout version of what I'm gonna show you later. But taken care of, and that's gonna be my hunting gun because I'm gonna put a combination together on that that's gonna be freaking ridiculous. It's pretty much along the same line with that. Only the difference is the rangefinder that goes with that optic, they talk to one another. So literally, if I range something, it'll talk to the optic and it'll give the optic point of aim, point of impact shift. So legitimately it's button, trigger, bag the deer. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, that's just what it is. And I'll show it to you. When you see it, you're like, holy shit. This is how far we've come in the digital age. Mm-hmm. Whenever you see a politician on the left sit there and say that firearms manufacturers, every time we make a law, they're skirting the law by doing this. They're not skirting the law, they're adhering to it. It's a difference. But see, this is what they like. The play on words is what they use for fear. Thinking that the gun industry is doing this. They have this magnanimous situation room where they go in and they just battle plan on, well, what if they pass this bill? Well, we'll try to circumvent it through doing this. That's not what happens. They're adhering to the law. You've got states right now that, again, like we were talking earlier, ban features, right?
Right.
So you can't have a threaded barrel, right, on handguns. You can't have more than 10 rounds in a magazine, right? Okay. So what did two companies do? They start, because normally for a handgun that has a threaded barrel is to put a suppressor on it or is to put a compensator on it, right?
What's a compensator?
I don't have one on my firearms, but I can show you one on YouTube. It's called the Ramjet that they just did. You got the Ramjet and the Parker Mountain Machining chamber brake that can go on without threads on the barrel. And they're up in arms saying, look, see, they keep skirting the law. No, they're following the law. If you're saying that a person cannot have anything put on the front of their pistol or their handgun, I won't say pistol because that's considered a pistol. That's considered an AR pistol. I'll say handgun. If you're trying to say that a person cannot have a threaded barrel, but a person still wants to put a compensator on the front of their firearm because it makes the end user shoot flatter where you can jump on target quicker, then okay, what they did was they created a pathway to still have a brake put on a firearm without using a threaded barrel. That's not skirting the law. That's them actually following the law.
Right. But I think the gun companies are pushing this legislation, so you go, I better buy this gun before they don't allow us to have the threaded barrel.
I can guarantee you that is not happening at all.
How do you guarantee
I can guarantee you it's not happening. We have what's called a military surplus, and we have you have DARPA's military contracts. All right, that gives the ability for every gun manufacturer to jump in these trials and have their firearm tested to see who comes out on top and gets the military contract. There is absolutely no need. H&K to this day has not released anything but their handgun line. That's it. MP7, that's their submachine gun. Can't get one. And when I say you can't get one, this time I mean you can't get one. It ain't got nothing to do with the NFA. You can't get one because they won't sell one. The G36, the G36C, you can't get one because they don't make one for the civilian use. See what I'm saying? So it's not about, and they're making money hand over fist. Because you gotta understand something. Yeah. They got nothing but government contract. And we ain't talking about just in their neck of the woods. We talking about all across the world.
Yeah.
Now what I'm hoping and praying is that the new rifle of the United States and the new squad machine gun, I pray to God that that doesn't go anywhere and it stays in house, because that puts us at an advantage like you wouldn't believe when it comes down to firepower. Period. So I would hope that we don't mess around this time and sell to even our allies, because anybody's suspect. You know what I'm saying? That's like having a whole bunch of thieves in a room playing craps, and you go to the bathroom right before your turn, and you leave your money out. Yeah, that's a bad idea. So you see what I'm saying? But this is why I'm telling you that they already making money hand over feet, man. There's Sig Sauer just got the contract for the Army on the automatic rifle, the squad machine gun, and the handgun. And I didn't even realize that they had another contract on the back end through SOCOM, which is the dark ops agencies, for another item of theirs. That's 4 freaking contracts, and we ain't even talking about the Marines. They wound up with the M18 handgun, which is the shorter variant of the M17 handgun. Bro, they good. The gun manufacturing industry is good, bro. And it's not them.
But that is, I think that is another liberal conservative difference.
It is.
That you think corporations will be like, that's enough money. We're good for
No,
that.
it's not. I'm not saying that's enough money. What I'm saying is they have money hand over fist. They're not the ones that's putting this legislation out. The Democrats are putting this legislation out, bro. You can look it up on Google and look at different legislations passed. Look up gun legislation in Congress, and anything where it's trying to remove something from us is coming from the Democrat side. Period. I'm not making this shit up. You can find it everywhere.
I don't doubt it.
Everything is all about making it hard. The only reason why an group of individuals will look to remove firearms from their citizenry is if they're getting ready to do something to their citizenry that we won't be able to fight back against. They keep referencing Australia.
Right, which took weapons from their citizenry.
But
what did Australia do to their citizens?
Did you not see them wrangling people? They was coming to people's doors, locking them up, dragging them out the house, man.
To get the
jab, just to get the jab. There was no, thank you. I'm not going to take the vaccine. No, hell no. You was taken to where you was going to get the vaccine. Period. They was locking people up behind that shit, and you have nothing to fight back with. Absolutely, and you can't fight back at all. What you gonna do? You ain't got shit to fight back with. So looking at situations, it's been proven time and time again, too many times, that's what's out. So when you hear Democrats sit on the stage or at an interview and they talk about other countries. Like look at Canada. They completely did a handgun freeze, and they completely banned the use of semi-automatic firearms in its entirety. And it's like, if you're praising that and you're referencing why can't we be like that, then you don't give a fuck about the Constitution at all. You don't care. You want your citizens to not have firearms to protect themselves. And it's already been shown, the government don't give a fuck about you. So, I mean, left in a situation and you left alone, bro, now you gotta think, if you're in a situation where you on your own and you're already in a compromised situation where people are killing people for their goods and what, bro.
Does that feel like the natural inclination of most Americans to you?
What?
This desire to kill people for their goods. Like, is that who most Americans are to you?
People do that.
Yeah, I know people do that.
Every day.
Not many. Most
people do that every day.
So
you got people that's getting killed over vehicles, bro. You got people that's getting killed because they breaking into people's house trying to steal what people have in their home.
And often that makes the news because it is
not often it makes the news because it goes against the narrative. Just like if you sit there and you pay attention, you can see everything about a white cop and a black kid, but nothing about white folks with black cops. Nothing about black cops on black kids. You don't see shit about that. You don't. You more often see white cops on black kids. That's what you normally see because anything else doesn't fit the narrative. Just like when you have shooters, if you have shooters, there are instances where, like for instance, the one that happened with the young transgender with that Christian school. You heard very little about that case. Very little about that case. And they still have yet to open up and go extreme with showing the manifesto that was left. They're cherry picking what they're allowing the people to see. So I mean,
I feel like I got any more or less information about that than any of the other ones.
Bro, whenever it's a situation that suits their narrative, it's played over and over.
Well, now I would say now, living in Southwest Virginia now, do you watch local news?
Normally, my wife does, and if she's watching it, I'm subject to watching. Period.
I feel confident that if there is a murder, regardless of race, within a 30-mile radius, our news will accurately report it. White, black.
I don't know. I really haven't seen a whole lot. Like when it comes down to that. Now I don't know whether or not they blasted this Franklin County couple that died, double homicide, and they just found the killer. I don't know whether I didn't see anything about that on the news.
I'm unfamiliar with it too.
I didn't see anything about that on the news. I'm privy to.
How long ago did it happen?
A lot. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was an older. I won't say older. I want to say they was maybe in their late 50s, early 60s.
Wasn't
maybe
the Marine that came home and they had the manhunt for it, killed him?
No.
Okay.
No. It was an actual situation where it was a double homicide, and they wound up catching the killer or wound up having more news on who the killer or killers were, some shit like that. But
was it arrest May 2013 Franklin County double murder?
That's it. That's them.
Which I would say, I'm confident there's a murder that's going to happen locally within a 30-mile radius. We're going to know about it. I don't feel like it's biased.
Now, what I can say when it comes down to children, yeah.
Now,
like if it's an Amber Alert or some shit like that, yeah. Or if it's a child that wandered off and is lost or something like that, yeah, it's spoken about. But it's shit that has happened that my homeboy told me about that I didn't hear. My wife watches the news every fucking. I can't escape the news, so I'm subject to listen to it just for that reason, to see if there's anything that's going on now. Especially when it comes down to any escape prisoner or something like that. Yeah, they'll set off with shit like that. But certain stuff, I'm not going to say that it's all spot on. I'm not going to say that it's. What I will say, it's not uber biased. Mm-hmm. The news here is not uber biased.
News-wise,
I don't trust any news outlet. Mm-hmm. I don't trust any news outlet. I don't trust any government official.
Your information.
I dig for it. If it's something that
once you dig for it, something you pick up, you go, I trust this.
If it's something that has come across my ear, or something that glimpsed by my eye, and it's something that I want to know about, I'll normally dig through and see, like, go through the state police or the FBI, you know what I'm saying? Because everything gets reported to them, because they have an overall statistics report that they have to do at the end of every year. So, well, it's in the beginning of the following year that they're going to report about. So it has to go through them. Now, that's something that has to be done. Do I trust it? To a degree.
Okay. So
to a degree.
If the crime statistics for some of the big cities, Philadelphia and Chicago, are better in 2013 than they were in 1995, is that something you would take into account as an improvement?
I definitely. If I looked at the state reports via the state police, and I looked at the FBI chart, and it said that it was trending. That's why I say I already know that we're trending downward.
Right.
But again, when you sit there and you have things going on in the streets of all of these cities, especially the city that I hail from, and I know what's going on in that city. Like, my sister just went back and was like, "Hey, there's no fucking way on earth somebody could try to bribe me even to come back up here." Because it is the wild, wild west, and nobody is looking at it with concern to the degree that they should. You know what I'm saying? It's like especially with areas that's been gentrified. You've got areas that's been gentrified. I know it because she showed me different photos of the shit that's changed.
Right.
And it's like, okay, now I guarantee you that the policing is heavy in that area because it's been gentrified. So I'm telling you for a fact, that's what they do. If it's a situation where money is involved, you will have more policing in the areas in front of that area to make sure that it doesn't seep into that area.
I think I disagree.
It's just that simple.
I think you will have.
You can disagree all you want. I'm telling you what they do.
How often do you think folks are stopped and frisked in those areas?
They're not.
But that's what policing? That's the policing.
No, that's not. That's not just the policing model. No, that's not. That is not. We're getting back off topic. I'm not gonna do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This sucker right here, man, is a bullpup shotgun, 12 gauge bullpup shotgun.
It's because most of the barrel is
behind.
It's recessed in.
Okay.
It's behind the action. So the action is no longer in the front. The action is now in the rear. Because your ejection port is right there.
Okay, so this one you cannot shoot from both sides.
You can. You just have to make sure that your face is away from the ejection.
Okay.
Make sure it's away from the ejection port. Like, my brother shoot it like this. Which is away, and that shit, and I'll be sitting there like, ain't no fucking way I'd do that. But to each his own.
To each his own, okay.
If you train well enough with it, you'll begin to pick up a design pattern that you can do where you know you'll be fine. And these jokers, when they eject pretty damn high.
Okay.
So this is
the 60-degree one.
This is a.
We are getting late.
No, this is a very deep. I'm a punch when that. Hollywood is real if I'm this close to you and I punch you with this. Mm-hmm. If I hit you with one of these 12 grade double-out buck round, spread pattern rounds, or if I hit you with a slug round, you're gonna get picked up off your feet. It's just that simple. And a lot of people like to do like my homeboy Ramon that was on the cast.
Yeah.
He wants a pump action shotgun. I was like, God bless you. He was like, why? I said, well, you want to give a person a warning. I said, I'm not privy to that. See, here's the difference. Now they bold. So you can go ahead and go and rack your shit. And what if you hear back? Then you ain't as confident as you once thought you was. See, all I'ma hear is that. I'ma hear that. Ain't nobody else gonna hear that. I'ma hear that. And normally you have 2 entries and 1 or 2 watchdogs. So you either have the getaway watchdog driver, or you have a getaway cat lurking in the area. A watchdog lurking in the area along with the getaway vehicle. And you only have 2 to do the entry. So here's the deal. All I gotta do is hit 1. The other one gonna drop and run. That's it. I'm out. Now there are situations where we don't have to worry about that yet, thank God, where you have 3 and 4 enter. And at that point, again, you might have to, if you punch 1 and that one drop, everybody else gonna be trying to get out at the same time, but they are gonna return fire. You'll have at least 2 that's gonna return fire. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have 1 that's just gonna ghost. As soon as the dude drop, he's out of there. You know what I'm saying? That's
Braxton Moore, FaceTime.
Yeah, it's my son. His birthday was yesterday. He's expecting me.
how old is he?
10.
That's why I had to
Hello?
reset.
Yeah. Oh, I can show him. He'll be excited about this.
Oh, you're all right. As long as you all right, I'm
Yeah.
all right.
No, we're learning. Safety first.
Oh, you already told me you was going to shoot.
Yeah. yeah, we're going over there. We're almost done.
All right. Again,
I'll see you in a little bit, all right?
the dot is out. So,
All right, love you too. Bye.
you just put it on fire.
Safety.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How did you rack it?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Good day. That's already got some weight.
Mm-hmm. Man, before you
How much
pass,
recoil with this one?
so I'm going to tell you how to shoot that one. I'm going to tell you how to shoot that one since you asked that question. When you go to shoot this one, any shotgun at all, when you go to shoot it, and I'm going to hand it back to you. And I'm not going to
Rack it because
rack it. So whenever you insert a mag, when you insert it, you pull down on it just to make sure you see it.
okay.
All right. Whenever you go to shoot this weapon, you get in the fighting stance and you lean forward because you're gonna have recoil coming back at you. So you get into it. You cement your stance. You lean forward with it and you give it the goose. But so you can feel now it's balanced.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
that is wild. That is wild.
Yeah, that's how you would shoot. Plant yourself and keep it pushing. Alright. And I'm going to drop the magazine first. Alright. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and use it.
Yeah. It didn't have 2 separate weights.
Got some weight to it.
Now, feels like it's front heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. You see it? Now it's balanced, is it not?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Drop that on. There you go.
I can't help the chicken wing.
I know.
The
Drop
chicken
that
wing
on.
keeps coming.
So the only reason why you would ever chicken wing a rifle is if you were doing a standing shot out to 100 yards. It helps. It helps actually with the breathing while you're standing, and it helps mitigate the recoil as well.
Yeah.
Now, again, the dot for this is like the dot for that.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. This is the one. Like
Now, what kind of
ammo?
shells? Yeah, ammo you got.
3-inch. Is it 3-inch or
2 1/4, 3 1/4.
Oh, let's look around there. 2 3/4. 2 3/4 shotgun shells. Double out buck.
Okay, it's buckshot.
Yeah, it's definitely. But I'm not the kind of person that believes in the hit them with birdshot first, then hit them with no. Cause see, I might go to hit them with birdshot, and it might be a cat that's got a padded chest pad, or maybe they got thick clothing on. That shit, I'm not trying to piss nobody off so that they can try to kill me just right off the rip without no kind of give a fuck. I mean, if they already got the thought of, well, if somebody home, we just, you know what I'm saying, do ... But I'm not trying to piss you off at the same. I'm trying to prove a point that it's a bad idea to break in a person's house because you don't know what they had. Stop trying to take shit from people, and then you won't have this issue. That's why in different areas of different states, you have a low level of crime, violent crime, because criminals are not fucking with the people because they don't know what they have. You might think that you got a sheep, and it might turn out to be an alpha wolf while you're a beta wolf trying to, be on the prowl and prove something to your friends. It ain't gonna work out well. So that's why you always hear people say a gun society is a polite society. Because we all know what we got. Now, we might not know the training level of each other, but ain't nobody trying to go through that, man. We just trying to live our lives and be happy and make it happen. That's it. This one, now that holds 5 rounds. This one, as I said, holds 14 rounds for the reason why I got it for my wife, and she loves this thing. Because she can manipulate it, it's easy for her to manipulate, and it's got very little recoil. For us, it would have not much recoil at all. Like to us, it would be maybe like shooting a 9mm. You know what I'm saying? Again, just like anything, safe side is my side. You already know what the other side is. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's on safe. To rack it, because there's no rounds in it, you have to push this lever, and it's on both sides. You have to push this lever down to release the slide, and then you can rack it. When you rack it, all the rounds for this one comes out the bottom. So you can stay on target, all right, and you can all day. Now, there's 2 things. There's 2 ways that you can run this. You can run this with the lever straight up and down, or you can go from tube to tube. So it's 7 in the left, 7 in the right. If you run it straight up and down, what's going to happen is when you pull the trigger, it might shoot from the left tube. When you pull the trigger again, it'll shoot the right tube, and it'll go back and forth like that until you're out. So again, 14 rounds of pure unadulterated. You stepped in the wrong rec room. Again, without that lever push down, you can't actuate the action.
Okay.
All right. And the trigger pull it's very audible, but that reset is tactile and audible as hell, and you're right back on the target. So this thing is great. Who first?
All right. And can you keep the safety on the racket and still rack it with the safety on, or the safety needs to be off the racket?
I believe you can.
It's got a level on it.
That's the sight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And you would fire that gun the same way. You would lean into it. You know what I'm saying? Fighting stance, lean in.
All right, now for this, is there a way to show to pass it off?
No, the only way that you can show is go ahead and rack it back. All right, leave it back.
Okay.
All right.
Safety zone. Chicken wing,
I'm
chicken
gonna
wing,
take
chicken
duct
wing,
tape to
chicken
that
wing,
damn thing,
chicken
man.
wing, I can't help it.
Right there.
Oh, nice.
Another thing that I've been seeing y'all do when y'all go to reset the trigger, all right? What y'all do is y'all fire. When you go to reset the trigger, y'all completely let up off of it. That's a no-no.
Oh.
Keep your finger on the trigger because you want to see. You want to keep it on the trigger, and you want to loosely let it off a bit just till you feel and hear that reset, so that it's easy for the follow-up shot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Ashley
That's how you do
Hawkins.
that. Damn. 300 blackout. Is there any questions about this firearm before we get into picking it up and actually getting the feel of it? No, it doesn't go off by itself.
All right.
Now, looking at it, it looks like it's more for long range.
Medium long. Medium to long range, yeah. Any other questions? We've been through
Are
it.
these your hunting rifles?
It's a yes. So
Okay.
this is my wife's. That's mine.
Okay.
But what I want to do is keep the purchase of rounds as similar as I can, and as far as, because I know a lot about firearms, I know a lot about their velocity versus their impact and shit like that, stuff like that. I'm confident because of where we live. Very few people are clipping deer at 200 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like we have an abundance of deer to where you probably have very few people that shoot a deer at 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? Let alone 200, 250, 300. All that we've been talking about is safety, fitness. The other caveat to all of this is bullet weights, bullet drop, bullet velocity versus impact. So velocity is how fast it goes, impact is how hard it hits.
Give me a blanket and a space for my
You can
head.
use, now that's a 16-inch barrel.
Time to sing
You can use
like an old stage
a 10.5
inch.
You can use a 7-inch barrel for a 300 blackout round. You put a can on that sucker, a can meaning suppressor on it. Put a suppressor on that sucker, and yes, you can ring steel out to 300 yards.
Just
Your
got
effective
the
range
rambling,
is going to be,
talking 19 to the
I'd say,
dozen,
now anybody
like a
else will say
worn out
300,
needle,
350. I
tripping
would
right across
personally
that
feel better
groove.
about
You said
my
there's a
range
silence
if it's true that you
that's
could
creeping
be
in darkness,
isolated to 200.
but why look for answers when there's enough in the proof?
So what we do
Give me a savior that takes me away. Give me a blanket and a space for my head. When time descends like an old stage curtain on the back of my eyelids, I'll be in a place instead. If time were elastic, would we dare ask it to hold on to something before it melts down like ice And if we could listen, we'd hear back the laughter. 'Cause no one ever wades through the same river twice. Give me a savior who takes me away. Give me a blanket and a space for my head. When time descends like an old stage curtain on the back of my eyelids, I'll be in a place instead. When time descends like an old